This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
So how's camp been going so far? You got a lot of depth there at cornerback. How have they been progressing?
Camp's been really good so far. Day 3 today, so excited. Guys got in pads a little bit today. Got to run into each other a little bit more than we have over those first couple days. Excited about what I see from our team as a whole. I think they worked really hard throughout the summer, changed bodies, changed speed, just kind of changed our outlook as a whole. And I think you're starting to see that in practice. It was a very competitive day today, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, the guys running first string in spring and the first string here in the first few practices. Bajor Wilson, Jimmy Fox. What stood out about those two guys who have experience here at the D1 level?
Well, I think the first thing, when you look at Bajor Wilson, the guy that played quite a bit last year, really came on toward the end of the season. I mean, he just came in and had a very leader-like, work-like mentality right off the bat. Makes plays when he has the opportunity to out there, and definitely brings an attitude to our group. Jimmy Fox, a guy that has not played as much last year. The year before, I think he played quite a bit, but last year red-shirted, and he just came in and he and I sat down, talked about what I expected of him, what I expect of our group, and so those guys kind of stood out amongst the group. Now, nothing's set in stone by any means, so they understand the guys that we recruit, the guys that have been here, whoever's competing and pushing us to be our best are going to be the guys that will be on the field.
Then you got a JUCO transfer and Emmanuel Dabney. How has he looked so far?
Dab has been good. Dab, he had a hamstring strain in the spring. Has had a great camp over these first 3 days, so he's been a breath of fresh air just because I didn't get to see him as much in the spring. Definitely can run, and I knew that from film, but has just done a very good job of understanding the defense and executing it from now.
Isaiah Avery is another JUCO transfer. What do you like out of him so far?
Best thing about Isaiah is he's a guy that got 3 years left. You know what I mean? So he's still very young in development. Has played a lot of football when he was at Sac City and did a great job there, but now he comes in and the big thing for him is just continue to develop, continue to be in game situations and be in a position where the lights are on. You know what I mean? He's got to be out there and ready to make plays and be consistent.
Malik Matthews, he's at safety now full-time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got two true freshmen there in Tank Land and Trey Clark. What have they brought to this team so far in camp?
Attitude, 100%. You know what I mean? I think when you're that young, you don't know any better. So you go out there and you're used to being the big dog or the big fish. And those guys have come out and immediately brought an attitude and a presence about them. Probably the thing that guys or people on the outside won't know as much about them is they are just as eager to learn as they are to go out there and make plays. They did a great job throughout the summer working with our older guys and getting the defense down so that when we came in the camp, those guys, it feel like they've been here already. They've done a great job of executing what we need them to do. They're freshmen. They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to do everything right, but they understand that consistency is what I'm looking for them, especially as guys that haven't been out there under those lights.
Trey was telling me an interesting story yesterday about his recruiting process and how you didn't even know about him, weren't looking for a corner at that time, but you showed up, saw his film, said, I got to get this guy, and then it was just less than a week to signing day, and he was going to Western Michigan for an official. Just talk about that process of seeing him on film and what stood out, why you want him so bad, then all the hassle you had to go through to try to split that visit, then to get him to come here.
Purely a blessing. I was in Washington. Coach called me, and he had just been down in the Virginia Beach area, had met and saw Tank, found out what was going on with his situation, so we knew we wanted to make a move there. I met him one night, and then I was going through Richmond, just kind of doing our preliminary recruiting, kind of getting out and about during that time period, finishing up that class. And Coach Hall over at Manchester said, man, I got a really good corner, but I think he's going to end up going to Western Michigan, or he's got some other suitors. And I said, well, Coach, let me see him. He said, Coach, I think he's going to go there. And he let me see him, and I said, Coach, I can't leave until I talk to him. You know what I mean? Until we get him in a position where we can get him here, he can see our place and understand he doesn't have to go to Western Michigan to get the experience that we can give him at Liberty. And so met his parents that night, end up getting him here to split his visit with us in Western Michigan, and it was just kind of an all hands on deck type of deal. Everyone on our coaching staff, our families, when they're around on those visits, I think he just felt a family environment, which is what he definitely wanted. And, you can't beat going 2 hours away from home and being able to be and compete for a championship here. So,
where did the idea for the split visit come from? Is that you've been a part of that before?
I have not. When we in-home visiting, Coach Simons actually was like, man, let's see what we can do, because we're not going to pressure a kid to say, hey, just cancel a visit that you've had planned for 2 weeks. Now, I'm going to recruit all day long, but at the same time, I want to do it the right way, and we felt like that was the best way. Go see them, come see us. You got to make a decision fairly soon, but now you're in a position where you don't have to make it blindly. Even though you're from Richmond, you don't know us. You don't know what our plans are for this program. Let us show you that for a day and a half, and then make a decision that's educated on both ends for you.
Coach, from a defensive standpoint, what do you guys want to see just collectively as far as the install goes here this week, and the strides that you're hoping to see?
We want to see our guys play fast. That's the expectation. We want them to be physical and limit the mental errors. We're installed the same defense, that we've already put in this spring. So we expect them to be, sophomores, juniors, seniors, a year ahead of where you were in the spring, just because now you've taken those reps, you've executed it, and now, when you put what our defensive philosophy and mantra is to fly around, be physical, and as fast as we can, executing at an extremely high level in a quick pace environment.